to be the best. I want to be the best there ever was. I want to make this team the best WNBA team there's ever been. But also, I want to win for my teammates. I want to win for this franchise.
Clark fires. Steps back with the three over Brianna Stewart. Caitlin Clark throws it from the edge. Most dynamic player in the game. Clark, a deep three. You bet. Clark. Wow. You bet. From beyond the logo.
Hello guys, welcome back to TFD. We're back with another one, and today we've got to talk about what's really going on up in Indy with the Indiana Fever and their superstar Caitlin Clark. Because whether people want to admit it or not, she continues to put this entire damn league on notice. So let's get straight to it. Reports came out that for the first time in league history, WNBA teams are set to receive around $8 million per team after the league hit a major revenue benchmark. That's not a small milestone. That's historic as hell. For years, people have questioned the financial growth of the Women's National Basketball Association. They've questioned viewership. They've questioned marketability. They've questioned star power. All that slick hating shit. Now suddenly, there's enough money flowing through the system to start talking about serious revenue distribution. That's big-time money moving around. And let's be honest, this shift didn't just happen out of nowhere. That ain't some random-ass coincidence. It's no secret that Caitlin Clark led the league in jersey sales. She's been at the top in merchandise, she's driving road game attendance, arenas are selling out when she comes to town, TV ratings spike when she's on the schedule. That's not coincidence. That's impact. Real impact. Viewership numbers have climbed dramatically since she entered the league. National broadcasts are pulling in audiences the WNBA hasn't consistently seen in decades. Social media engagement is up, sponsorship interest is up, corporate attention is up. Everything is up. And that's not by accident. For the past 30 years, critics have said the league struggled to compete with other major sports properties. But right now, the conversation feels different. The energy feels different. It don't feel dead no more. It feels alive. Caitlin Clark isn't just another talented rookie. She's a trendsetter. She's box office. She's a cultural moment wrapped inside a basketball player. She's moving the needle like crazy. And I know some of y'all might be thinking, all right, that's a stretch. But when you look at the numbers, the sales, the ratings, the attention, it becomes harder and harder to deny. At some point, you gotta stop hating and just admit what it is. Today, we're breaking down the fresh data that just dropped and showing exactly how impactful Caitlin Clark has been in reshaping the trajectory of this league. Let's get into it. Now, this right here is some viewership numbers that has been released. It says the WNBA is more popular than MLS among U.S. adults per recent survey data. Said WNBA is now one of the top 5 most popular major sports leagues. That's wild as hell when you really sit with it. All right, now, let's talk about these new numbers that just came out. There was a survey showing the percentage of U.S. adults who say they're fans of different professional sports. And when you look at it, women's basketball is up 18%. 18%! That's not a small jump. That's a serious rise. That's a holy shit, what's happening over there type of jump. Right now, women's basketball is sitting just under hockey. Hockey's only ahead by about 2%. That's basically neck and neck. And the next league up the ladder? The National Basketball Association. Now, I'm going to say something bold. Give it 2 years. 2 years. There is a real possibility that the Women's National Basketball Association could close that gap in a major way, maybe even surpass expectations nobody thought were realistic. And that would shock a whole lot of people. But here's the key. They have to handle Caitlin Clark the right way. And when I say that, I mean on the court too. They've got to fix her whistle, straight up. If Caitlin Clark starts getting the kind of consistent respect that stars like Paige Beckers get at University of Connecticut, or the kind of calls that A'ja Wilson gets as an MVP-level player, the entire damn dynamic shifts. Because right now, we've all seen the contact, we've seen the hacking, we've seen the physical play. And sometimes that should be looking crazy. Imagine if those calls start going her way consistently. Now you're talking about lights-out basketball. Now you're talking about efficiency going up, scoring exploding, highlight moments multiplying, attention skyrocketing. That's when things get scary. No disrespect to anybody else in the league, but if her whistle gets cleaned up and she's allowed to fully operate, she's in a stratosphere of her own. Different level, different vibe. The numbers already show the growth. The metrics show the momentum. Women's basketball was near the bottom in fan interest compared to other sports. Now it's climbing, fast as hell. Fix the whistle, and we're telling a completely different damn story. All right, now let's move here because this situation is deeper than people think, way deeper than surface level bullshit. We all know the WNBA has about 2 weeks to get this CBA deal signed, sealed, and delivered so the 2026 schedule isn't impacted. March 10th is being floated around as that pressure date. But I'm here to tell you there's more going on behind the scenes than just revenue sharing and salary structure. This ain't just about a damn paycheck. Everybody keeps talking about the money. Nobody is talking about leadership, and that's wild as hell. Let's bring up Cathy Engelbert. When this situation first started escalating toward the end of the 2025 season, there were already whispers about dissatisfaction, not just from fans, but from players and even some ownership circles. Remember, she oversaw the sale of roughly 16% of the league to private investors. That means there are more stakeholders now, more voices, more power in the room. And for the CBA to pass smoothly, you've got to get those behind-the-scenes owners aligned. And that shit is not easy at all. That's not easy. Then you go back to All-Star Weekend in Indiana. Optics matter. Leadership presence matters. And many felt like the tone wasn't matching the moment, especially during a season where tensions were high surrounding how certain situations were handled, particularly involving Caitlin Clark. That whole vibe was messy as hell. Fair or unfair, there's been criticism about how league discipline, player protection, and public messaging were managed. Some players have publicly expressed frustration. Some fans have too. And when both sides are irritated, that's a damn problem. Now here's the real question. Could leadership stability be part of what's stalling this deal? There have been rumblings for months that once the CBA is finalized, Engelbert's position could be reevaluated. And let's not ignore the fact that Adam Silver ultimately has influence here, given the National Basketball Association's structural relationship with the WNBA. That connection ain't small. Free agency is coming, an expansion draft is coming, the WNBA draft is coming. Traditionally, the commissioner oversees and shapes all of that. So if there's uncertainty at the top, that trickles down. And when leadership feels shaky, everything underneath starts wobbling too. Is that the hidden layer in all this? Is leadership part of the holdup? Because this ain't just about dollars and cents. It might be about power. And power struggles get ugly real quick. And right now, the future direction of the league might be just as important as the dollars being negotiated. That's the part people don't want to say out loud. All right, now in this video from Front Office Sports that has been released, he's breaking down the reality of the situation with this March 10th date because they have until March 10th to get this deal done. Let's listen.
Owners have not drawn a line in the sand as far as the salary cap goes, which leads everyone to believe that there is still room for that $5.65 million salary cap to move up. Now, when you couple that with the speed with which the league responded to the union's last proposal, I think if this kind of back and forth is maintained, where we're seeing just a few days separating proposals and counter proposals, I think that could indicate things are on track to get done in the month of March. Now, whether or not that actually happens remains to be seen.
So that was Annie Constable speaking on the situation, basically saying the owners haven't officially drawn a hard line yet. And honestly, that just adds more damn uncertainty. At this point, fans deserve clarity. The WNBA needs this deal finalized to secure the season. Without it, everything stays up in the air, and that's stressful as hell for everybody involved. I'm just being real with y'all. If this keeps dragging, I wouldn't be surprised if the May 8th start date gets pushed back a week or two. Until pen hits paper, nothing feels locked in. Not a damn thing. Now, something else that caught headlines is this right here. This has been trending online. Instead of saying it's just trending, people are debating whether the Sky facility will actually be the largest in the WNBA. That's where the conversation is happening right now, especially on Twitter. The Chicago Sky have announced plans for their own $38 million practice facility, a 40,000 square foot complex in Bedford Park. It will include personalized locker rooms, 2 regulation courts, a private chef's kitchen, beauty stations, a content studio, player lounges, a training room, and a film room. The facility is set to open in December 2025. Now, compare that to the Indiana Fever. The Fever have announced plans for a $78 million performance center. So at first glance, it looks like the Sky mirrored what Indiana is doing. In a way, you could argue that, but I'm here to tell you they don't have the biggest practice facility. That's where the debate really starts. All right, let's go here. Look, shout out to the homeboy Mike over on Twitter for putting together a little investigative report. He said, below are the various practice facilities and expected performance centers in the WNBA. The Indiana Fever are projected to have the largest facility in the league. He goes on to list it. The Indiana Fever, opening in 2027, a $78 million facility totaling 100,000 square feet. 100,000 square feet. We're talking 100,000 square feet. No other facility is even close. Now, the Chicago Sky are somewhat close, but still far behind. They're projected around 80,000 square feet. That's still a lot of space. 80,000 is big, but it's not 100,000. Nobody is touching Indiana in terms of size. Right now, the Sky are second. The New York Liberty come in third. The Las Vegas Aces are at about 64,000 square feet. Then you've got the new expansion team, the Portland Fire, along with the Phoenix Mercury. And you can see the breakdown right there. I don't really understand why people keep throwing shots at the Indiana Fever like they're not building something serious over there. At some point, you've got to respect what's happening. The foundation is being laid, the investment is there, and the spotlight isn't going anywhere. And let's talk about Caitlin Clark. In my opinion, she's done more than enough to earn a consistent whistle. We've all seen the contact, we've all seen the physicality. If the league rolls into the 2026 season, whenever it officially tips off, and nothing changes, that's a problem. Because when your biggest draw keeps taking hits with no protection, that's not just a player issue, that's a league issue. Right now, it feels like she's serving humble pie to a lot of doubters. The numbers back it up, the attention backs it up. But I want to hear from y'all. What do you think? Don't forget, like and subscribe to the channel. Bye-bye.